Hello everyone, this is Kiran from the Kiran Academy. Today we are going to see interview questions on very important topic, very basic topic, that is data types. Without data types, you cannot write a code. Data types are used for storing values into the variables. It's very simple. So let's move on to interview questions related to data types concept. So first question here on the screen, you can see what are the primitive data types in Java. So there are multiple data types, primitive data types and reference type data types are there. So here we are talking about primitive data types. So primitive data types are there total 8. So you should be starting with byte, short, then int, long, float, double, character and boolean. So like that 8 data types you should be knowing. In next interview question, we will be seeing some detail of it. You should also be knowing all default values related to each data type, which I told just now. You should also know the memory allocation required for these data types. For example, character will have 2, byte have 1, int have 4, like that in detail you should be knowing. So this question was just for what are the primitive types in Java. So I told 8. Coming to next question. Next question is explain the difference between primitive data type and reference data type. So whatever I told, int, float, char, all these are primitive data types. They are inbuilt. These are the keywords in Java. Int, int, it's a keyword, reserve keyword I would say. And the reference data types, that is like any object when you create. Any object, like animal is a class. So if you create object of it, then it will be called as a reference data type. Just to tell you in detail, if you are writing int a equal to 90, so it's a primitive data type. Whereas if you write like this, merchant m equal to null, so here this m is reference data type. You can have variables and methods inside this. So this is very simple. This is, I would say, some people says user defined data type, custom data type, different names are there. Here in this question, it is called as reference data type. These are inbuilt. These are the primitive data types. So I hope this question's answer also you understood. Next question. What is autoboxing and unboxing in Java? Try to understand. Name itself says autoboxing. Autoboxing means automatic conversion. Boxing means conversion. Means one data type to another data type. Try to understand these two things. Autoboxing and unboxing. I'll tell you in simple words. If you have bigger data type and you are trying to convert that into smaller data type. Remember, you need typecasting. It's very simple. You need typecasting. If something happening automatically, then that would be autoboxing. To make it more simpler, I will tell you one thing. If primitive data type is getting converted to wrapper classes, then that would be autoboxing. But if you have wrapper class and you are trying to convert that into smaller, this is primitive, then that will be considered as unboxing. So I'll write here for your reference, this is called as maybe autoboxing and this is unboxing. I was telling you about typecasting also. Here I shown you typecasting. So remember this concept. So bigger to smaller, that will be automatic, that is a typecasting. But smaller to bigger, again you need typecasting. But this question was only about autoboxing and unboxing. So don't get confused. This will be the concept for autoboxing and unboxing. Let's say I'll show more examples in this. As these courses we are bringing very detailed explanations. So some videos might be longer. You need to stay with it, understand the concepts, stay longer with the video to understand completely so that you will be preparing well and you will be cracking more and more interviews. So here, if I am writing int I equal to 5 and if I write like this integer I equal to double I equal to I, then this I is used here, then this will be a autoboxing. But if I do reverse, then that will be unboxing. Integer I equal to new integer 15, and if I'm trying to put like this all will happen automatically. Int x equal to I, then that will be unboxing. So this is very simple concept. Next, let's move to next question. How does the size of int data type vary in different Java implementation? First of all, they have made it very clear integer data type is taking 4 bytes, that is 32 bits. So if you go for any operating system, as Java is platform independent, it will remain same, and that makes a consistent behavior. In other languages like embedded system, there will be different sizing for integers for different platforms, but in Java that is not the case. It is consistent. It's 32 bits, 4 bytes. 1 byte is of 8 bits, so 4 into 8 is 32. What is default value of char data type in Java? It's a space, blank space. Explain the purpose of the boolean data type in Java. Boolean data type means true false. If you are making anything conditional, or if you are putting if condition, then it gives you result true or false. You can define boolean data types like boolean flag. If you don't define any value, then it will be a false. So boolean is just to check yes or no. That's it. By default is false. By default value is false. What is difference between float and double in Java? Float means for smaller numbers. Double means for longer numbers or bigger numbers. It's not number, floating numbers. Means, I mean to say here, in this case, if you write float like this, float f equal to 3.6, you need to write like this. But if you write like this, double d equal to 3.6, then this is also correct, this is also correct. Here, remember, f you need to write. Here, you don't need to write f. Even you can do like this, double x equal to 1.4 plus 1.6, no problem. It's a bigger float, I would say. But here, if you are doing addition, you need to write like this, float f 3.6 f plus 3.8 f. Try to understand, in float you need to have f. If you have longer precisions, means if you are working at micro level, means after decimal if longer uh, values are there, longer digits are there, then you go for double. So it's according to need, how your application is, how your requirement is. Next question, guys. What is string data type? How is string object different from other primitive data type? Yes, many people get confused here. We feel string is a primitive data type. What are the data types in Java? They say string. It's a wrong answer. You should ask first whether you are asking me object type data types, or you might be asking me primitive data types. Primitive, I already told in float char. Here it is asked string. Default value is null. For string, default value is null. But in case of primitives, it might be 0, blank, false, or something else. To define string data type, I will show you example like this. You can define string x equal to the Kiran Academy. So this is how we define string. If you don't define, then it will be considered as a null. Null is a default value for string. There is another way to define this string. String x equal to new string. Just a second. These are the two ways to define data type for string. One without new and one with new. You can check my another chapter where interview questions are related to string, so you will get more clarity. Coming to next question. What is significance of final keyword when applied to variable in Java? You can see more things on final in my final chapter. Final, in this course, I have included one video for especially for final. So final means you cannot change. Final means you cannot change. It's very simple. So if you make variable, you cannot change value. Explain the concept of typecasting in Java. This I already explained you some time before, like typecasting. This one. So if you are changing int to long, it's very simple. That is a typecasting. But if you are changing long to int, then you need to tell compiler that I am doing it intentionally. I mean to say, in this case, if you have int I equal to 50, and if you want to put long L equal to I, Java doesn't have problem, no typecasting needed. But if you are doing like this, long L equal to 60, and if you are trying to put int x equal to I, Java will be giving you error. Here you will get error. Why error? Because you have not done typecasting. So what you should be doing, instead of doing this, you should be doing here long, sorry, not long, integer, and here you will be putting L. It's very simple. What I mean to say, if you're converting data type from smaller to bigger or bigger to smaller, then typecasting comes into picture. Next question, how does the instance of operator work in Java concerning data types? It is instance of. Instance of means checking uh, whether this is an object of something or not. I mean to say, if you have class like this, customer C equal to new customer, then you can check C instance of customer. If, then do something. See, in Java, there is superclass and it has multiple subclasses. Maybe animal may have dog, cat, lion, tiger. So you can do like this, animal A equal to new dog. So in this case, A is instance of animal as well as A is instance of dog. So like that checking you can do. Next question, coming to next question, that is discuss the role of enum data type in Java. Enum. What is this enum means? Enum is it's like an array where you can store multiple elements. But remember, this is syntax I have already given here. In enum, variables are public, final, static, like an interface. You can store multiple elements here. You can access them by the name of enum. Coming to next question, what is the purpose of byte data type and when would you use it? Byte is the smallest data type. Minus 127 to plus 128 is range. You need to use byte data type when you are talking about networking, like on cloud you are transferring some data. So byte by byte it goes. If you look at the file input stream, there also every byte is getting read. So what I mean to say, whenever you are dealing with very small values, you must be going through data type like networking or maybe file transfers. So like that things will need this data type. Coming to next question, how does the char data type store character in Java? It's very simple. By sequence of characters, you will be getting one word that can be considered as a string. So characters make a string. So character by default value is blank. You can have multiple characters, you can concatenate them, you can convert them to string. There are multiple ways to convert. So here, how does the char data type store characters in Java? It's very simple. It's a single character. In single quote, you need to write, not in double quote. If you write double quote, then it will be considered as a string. Next question. Can you declare variable without initialization in Java? Answer is yes, you can, but not local variable. If global variables are declared without initialization, then they will be defaulted with their default value. For example, if you write like this, int p and nothing, and if you go for printing it, then it prints 0. If you are writing boolean x, then it prints false. What I mean to say, if these are the global variables, they are automatically initialized. But if you write like this, remember, this course is interview question. So you may get a question like this. Interviewer might write on paper like this, void m1, and he will say int 𝐶, what it will print. And if you give answer as 0, then it's wrong answer. Why? Because It's a local variable, and local variables will never get initialized in Java. You have to initialize. But instead of that, if it would have been a global variable, maybe this is int p, and if you go for here printing SOP p, then obviously it becomes 0. So remember guys, you need to remember this. If you're talking about global variables, then they will be initialized. If you're talking about local variables, then they won't be initialized with their default values. So that's it guys. So these are the two parts of data types we have prepared here. One part has some questions of data type, and this was another part where I covered most of the questions. So I hope you will be preparing those questions very carefully and trying to talk by yourself. Put my words in your words and represent yourself so that you will be cracking interviews very easily. I'll meet you in next video. Thank you.